Right, we are seconds out as we get ready for what is happening with regards to all things. We're chatting about all these tariffs and the 90 days pause that we're seeing on many tariffs. That's all good and well. But automotive tariffs still remain. There's no halting to the 25% tariffs on automotive imports and looming tariffs on auto parts. That's been in place for a while now. That doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. Donald Trump looking to rebuild the the automotive industry over in the US. However, this tariff has drawn criticism from Michigan business and auto groups as the auto tariffs remain. That's what's happened today. But what's happened in the last couple of days is there we were, minding our own business, here on the Business Breakfast, going about our business, having a little chat about what we got up to and what we watched last night. And then this came on our radio.
Do you think it would impact the car transportation industry in terms of getting the car onto a container? And
shipping to the US should get cheaper because they've got such a robust supply chain. So it could end up having a positive effect on the shipping costs.
Yeah, you know what we should do, Naz? We should get in touch with the Business Breakfast and give them this advice.
Yeah, sure.
Right, we are. Okay, challenge accepted. Motor Mania, who we thought were our dear colleagues and friends, are in the studio. We've got our mate, motoring expert, host of Motor Mania, Damien Reid, joining us live on the Business Breakfast. Morning, mate.
Morning. I dealt myself the early morning card with that one, didn't I?
Well, you knew you were going to get the early morning. We've been kind to you. We've given you the 8:50 slot rather than the 6:50 slot this morning.
I appreciate that.
Right, explain this theory to us, because everyone's suggesting that cars is just going to be more expensive. But you and Naz have come up with an alternative theory.
Well, I'll throw Naz into this one. But there's several theories. So Naz came up with the idea. We were talking about personal exporting from here back to the USA, and Naz was saying that because there's going to be lots of empty containers going back. Now, when you have a container, you put one or two cars in, you share it with another customer, or you have two cars. Saying that if there's going to be containers going back with nothing in them, then you've got you'll have a good chance to get a good discount on those cars. Now, at the moment, the tariffs are not applying to personal imports. If you're repatriating back, if you're an American citizen going back, you're paying 2.5% tariff at the moment on autos. But if you're going back for 1 year, you can keep the car before you have to pay any tariffs. So there is an opportunity potentially as an individual to take one or two cars back, where it might actually go in your favour.
Makes sense. Other questions whilst we've got you here. Price hikes, likely or not?
Well, at the moment, not too sure. I was with the guys from Adamas last night and from Algeria who import Exceed, and we had a bit of a chat. They didn't want to talk too much about it because obviously, as we found out, things change very, very quickly. Even after we had the chat. Not for the autos, but you never know. It might happen by the time we're off air. But, so at the moment they're holding out. Some manufacturers have already, we're talking about the US. Here, everyone's going to hold on. I know Ferrari have already put their prices up by 10% on their 12-cylinder models in the US. Audi and Aston Martin are holding out. Jaguar Land Rover have stopped selling their cars over there. Now, what that might mean is that, the thing is, the UAE is one of the very few markets that accepts US spec cars, which are a different specification to anywhere else in the world, because of pollution gear, because of lighting, because of a number of situations. So if we've got thousands or tens of thousands of cars which are rapidly building up on docks in Canada and Mexico and that are not going into the States, there's an opportunity where we could reduce wait times on certain models by diverting them down here and running and putting them on the market here without having to make any modifications whatsoever. So it could be good news for the US manufacturers or for the European manufacturers, even if things go that way, to put their US spec cars in the showrooms here.
Question, I mentioned just at the beginning, you're quite right in pointing out things have changed in the last 24 hours. They've changed in the last couple of hours. But that criticism comes from the Detroit Regional Chamber and Michigan Auto unions as well, calling on Trump to protect the industry. They're not happy with the fact that automotive taxes are still in place whilst others have been put on pause. I mean, who's set to win from Trump tariffs on the automotive industry? Could this be a win-win for Michigan and autos and US, or could we see more people looking towards other models and other makes?
Well, look, Yes, people are going to diversify and look for other models. I think it could actually be a win for the Chinese market, which is absolutely booming. I know you had a guest earlier on saying that, and correctly, the Chinese market is going through turmoil in the last couple of years, but the automotive sector is booming like you would not believe. In terms of number of employees, I found yesterday BYD is employing 900,000 people across the world. That's 7 times more than Ford employ or General Motors employ. Sorry, 5 times more and 7 times more than Tesla. So, that's one indication of the Chinese market, the size of them. They could start to sort of go, okay, we'll focus our attention to other areas. And the UAE is on a massive climb in terms of intake of Chinese cars. So we could actually, again, get some more volume from that side of it.
Okay, we're a selfish bunch here on the Business Breakfast, as you well know. I know it's the chat on the hallowed corridors down here at All Things Dubai. But we like to focus on our listeners out there. So from a viewer's point of view, from a listener's point of view, okay, 25% on America, on automotive tariffs from America. How does it impact us? How's the local market, how's the local buyer going to be impacted by these tariffs?
I think what will they do for the moment, they'll try to absorb as much as they can, because let's not forget, a lot of them, quite a few American models are not even made in the United States.
Yeah.
So, for instance, the Ram is made in Mexico. The Cadillac Lyric that's coming here is made in China. The Ford Bronco is made in Mexico. So, there's a lot of vehicles that are coming from outside of the US with US badges that won't impact them. What it might do is it might actually have a negative impact on the used car market, like we saw in COVID, because if the stock is not here or if the prices are up for whatever reason here, it pushes up the used car market, because people then go, okay, well, I'll buy a used car. It's exactly the same situation as what we had during the COVID era when used car prices went through the roof. So it will have a bit of an effect on everything. If the new car market goes up, it's going to have a knock-on effect to the used car market as well. But I think that'll be minimal compared to the rest of the world.
And that's a slow burner, is it, or not? Or could that happen overnight?
I think it'll be a slow burner. I'm hoping that they'll absorb it, because I think that the whole, and you guys probably know better than I think that the tariff things will settle down in a few months, hopefully. And I think we can hopefully absorb that with the stock that's currently in order. There's still a fair bit of stock straight after Ramadan. A lot of importers overbought, and there's a lot of stock sitting there. So that will trickle through. That's bought quite a few distributors a few weeks' grace anyway.
Right, last one, yes or no. Should I go to Ford and buy a massive truck straight off the forecourt this weekend?
You can get down here and get a very good deal. Tell them Damo sent you.
Damien Reid is the host of Motor Mania, our motoring expert, in-house motoring expert, giving us his thoughts on all things global tariffs when it comes to automotive and more. Thanks so much indeed for being with us.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.